What is up? Productivity and profit productivity. Friday night here. I'm going to break down this framework that has been extremely beneficial for people that want more something. They want more free time. They want more money. They want more time. They want less headache, all the things we want. And they always default to scaling their business, which means something different to everybody. So I'm going to show you how I help people prioritize. And it's really, really easy. I call it the green, yellow, red framework. It's really all it is. It's a green, yellow, red framework. Okay. So I'm going to break this down for you and I'm going to show you how you can use it. It's really, really, I'm going to use money, time, stress, but this could be anything. Okay. So I'm going to use money, time, stress, because those are the things that we want. More money, more time, less stress. I'm going to show you why all this advanced metrics and team building and all this stuff is ridiculous for most small businesses. Okay. So the first part of the exercise, we write down all our clients. Just for the sake of convenience, I didn't want to share. I actually had 3 clients go through this recently. I thought about sharing theirs, but it seemed like a privacy thing. So all of my clients are named John. Okay. And then payment. So this, let's say monthly, if we do monthly retainers, 1,800, 1,800, 750, 1,100. So step 1 is list all of the active clients. Step 2, here, let me make myself smaller and that bigger. Okay. Step 2, we've listed all of our active clients, list their payments. This would be like their retainer amounts. Okay. Then you can actually track the time, but you don't really have to. I'll show you why. And then we have a headache column and then an explain column. So this is how this works. You got all your clients, you have their payment, you have their time and their headache, and you explain. Now, all we do is our initial reaction when we hear this name. So this John, they're all Johns, but let's say John. When you see, okay, this is John Davidson, your initial reaction is either positive, negative, or neutral. If you have a positive reaction, cool, mark it green. Payment, full price, that's green. Time, how much time do you spend on this person? If it's a lot of time, it's red, right? If it's a normal amount of time, it's yellow. If it is less than average, it's green. Kind of see where this is going, right? Now, how much headache is this John? If it's a lot of headache, it's a red. If it's a normal amount of headache, it's a yellow. And if it's less headache than usual, it's green. And then explain your reasoning. Okay. So this is what it looks like once you've gone through this. Now, before you do this, the next part, I want you to get clear on what you're optimizing for. What's the biggest priority right now? Is it more money? Is it more time? Or is it less headache and stress? You have to decide that before you go into this because we have to be able to prioritize. Okay. So we have your clients, their payment, the time, and the headache, and an explanation. And every time you explain this, you're going to start finding patterns. So I'll show you what this looks like. Okay. I just kind of threw numbers together, but let's say it looks like this. A lot of times it looks like this. This is actually unfortunate. There's a lot of red here. So if we are optimizing for money first, we start on the payment column and we immediately highlight the reds. Okay, so there's a red here, a red here, red here, red here, red here. These are all people that are taking up capacity and they're not paying our rate. It's fine. Then, because we're optimizing for payment, we say, is there anybody that's a red? This John right here is a red all the way across. And we've explained why, and we found the patterns, right? Right here. So John 23. Okay. And then what is our second biggest priority? Time or headache? If it's time, then this one is also a problem. And so is this one. So what we do now is we take this John and this John and this John, right? We run what I call a Be Helpful campaign. It's really, really easy to do. And you get 3 people. You just say, hey, I have 3 spots open. It's $1,800 a month. Who wants in? And when those 3 people raise their hand, you take them on, right? And you immediately let John go. this one. You can even refund him because you just replaced the income, right? Now it looks like this because we don't know if they're necessarily better clients, lower headache clients, but what we did, we just added $3,000 a month, right? Without any capacity. We didn't have to hire more people. We didn't do all that stuff. And then we say, okay, what about this John right here? Send another campaign, replace this person. Okay, so first we handle the money. And you can absolutely decide that somebody is a red here and a green everywhere else and keep them. And then we see this person here is underpaying and they're a headache. So we get rid of that person. And now what we've done is we've just, I don't know, 5, 7, 8 grand a month by optimizing, using Dan Nicholson's language, optimizing before we maximize, right? And then we say, okay, what's the next biggest problem? Well, I have enough time, but I just don't want any more stress. Cool. So we go here because there's 2 reds. Actually, there's 3 reds. And we just systematically do all this. Now, until the entire roster is yellow or better, all those advanced metrics and stuff, scaling is not the most efficient thing to do. Cycling people in and out is far more efficient. You're going to get more time, less headache, and more money without having to break your infrastructure, right? Now, if we can somehow be lucky enough, when we get to this point where most of them are green and some of them are yellow, now we start looking at a little bit more advanced tracking data. Maybe we track the time, all that stuff. But this is a really, really simple way. I had somebody come to me with 31 clients making about 45 grand a month. It's totally groovy. Saying, I got to scale. I don't have capacity. I don't want to do a group program. And we went through this together for 2 weeks, one-on-one calls for 2 weeks, wrote the campaign, sent the email, waited for the responses, and cycled through clients. And out of the 156 grand a year, got time back, eliminated headache, and did not have to add. We actually ended up, he ended up with one less client than he had, but $156,000 more a year, plus he got time back, plus headache. You want this so that when you scale this. What you don't want to do, which is what most people are doing, is they don't have this kind of exercise and they scale something like this. And that creates a lot of inefficiency, a lot of stress. This is obviously, if they're red here, then they're not paying very much. So I've actually built in a ton of green, yellow, red frameworks. It's awesome because it lets you make decisions. It allows you to make decisions really quickly and say, hey, start with a fresh sheet here where we say, look, if I am optimizing for time first, right? Who are the people that take up the most time? This person takes up a bunch of time. That person takes up a bunch of time. This person takes up a bunch of time. Cool. And then you send a Be Helpful campaign who wants to enroll. And let's say only one person responds, say, hey, I'm ready to go at full price. And you know they're low headache. You pre-qualify them because that's what you do in this situation. You screen really hard. And then you say, all right, so I can only replace one of these right now. I don't want to take a pay cut necessarily. I can only replace one. We say, well, they're not paying very much. They are, and they're not. So we're not going to get rid of this person because they're paying full price. And we just work through this exercise. There it is. This is the person we replace right here. Right? And we just cycle through with control so that we're optimizing what we have and have a system so that when we scale, we're controlling the money, the time, and the stress levels, the headaches. Cool. Hopefully that's useful. I have a bunch of these. I'm going to drop, I'm really going to break down all the different ways we use this in the newsletter. This is a direct mail newsletter, comes to your mailbox and you have to read it. You have to hold it in your hand and read it because, it's really important to me that the attention is not fragmented. So that's nickpeterson.com/letter. But use this framework. I would offer to give you the spreadsheet. I mean, I will give you the spreadsheet, but it's pretty easy to make. There's no fancy calculations or anything. So hope that's useful. It's the green, yellow, red framework. I have about probably 15 of these different variations as far as even advertising spend, marketing, all that stuff. For ads, for example, if it's green, spend more money. If it's yellow, let's watch it. If it's red, turn it off. So we don't have to look at all these like granular KPIs when the reality is, if we're optimizing for this thing, we have to make decisions with this thing in mind, not 45 other KPIs. Cool. Newsletter, get on it. It's good.